Hello everyone, welcome to Founders Gyaan, where we do Founders Ka Gyaan with a Tadka of Gyaan. I'm your host Mansi Mutreja, and today we are in 9th episode. So this is the first episode we are doing in person, and we are joined by Mr. Deepak. So I would first like to introduce Deepak. So Deepak is founder and director of Map Creations Private Limited. So thanks for joining in for Founders Gyaan today, Deepak. I have given a very brief introduction about you, but I think the audience would want to hear it from you. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. So, hi, it's me, Deepak. I'm the founder and director of Math Creations. We are an offline BTL marketing agency. It's been 10 years I'm running this organization with a team size of around 70 plus people. So, yeah, that's what we do. And our HO is in Bangalore. So, we service Pan India. So we work with most of the startup brands as well as bigger brands. So yeah, pretty well. It is going good now.
Great. Thanks for introducing. So Deepak, for this podcast, we'll be having two sections. One would be a section wherein I would be asking you a lot of questions about your company or organization, how you started it, what were the challenges you faced. And then in the end, we'll be having a very small rapid fire round. Is it fine with you?
Fine.
So shall we begin?
Yeah, we can begin.
So first of all, would you like to tell the audience about what is Math Creations and what does it exactly do?
So basically it all started 10 years ago after I passed out of engineering. So I got placed in a company through my college itself.
Okay, so this we are talking about 2016. This is
2015 August. 2015 August. I passed out of Don Bosco Institute, Bangalore. So I did my electrical and electronics engineering. So I got a campus placement through my college itself. So, but the job was more of a marketing role since most of my friends who also attended this campus interview for this specific company didn't select this company because it was a marketing role. So even though I also didn't like marketing and I was also not okay with that job, but anyway, that was an option. I was not able to get through a lot of IT companies. So I think prior to this company, I gave more than 10 companies ka interview where I was not able to get to the very first round of the interview itself. So because I was more of an introvert, not good with communication. So I was struggling with that thing, but somehow I got placed with the second, the 11th company which I gave
the interview.
Yes, it's for a marketing engineering role. So the job role was more of it was a field come office work. So we are supposed to visit client place and give them visiting card, introduce about the product line which my company used to manufacture. All these things was a part of.
So a typical marketing role.
Yes, which most of the people rejected because it was like more of a field. They thought it was more of a marketing and a field work, like sales kind of a thing. So no one wants to take up this work. And the salary which I got in my first job is somewhere around 9,000 rupees, I think. CTC, it was 7,000 was a take home. So it was a very low paying, what do you call it? Entry level job. It was a small scale industry basically. So since most of my friends were getting placed in this IT, where the initial package at that time was average was somewhere around 3 lakhs to 3.5 lakh. That was the thing where since I didn't have that capability to crack those IT companies, since I was not good technically nor through communication, so I was not able to get through. So somehow this company gave me an opportunity where I learned a lot of things. I was reporting to the VP in that company itself. I was assisting him in all the smaller work, starting from taking printouts, filing the project reports, and helping him in his day, planning his day. And I was with him all the day when in the market visit. I was he was taking me to client meetings, negotiation calls. I was also, and one good part about that company was I was able to roam around the entire office and talk to different people. They had around like 12 departments, I think: marketing, logistics, R&D, MIS, purchase, estimate, production, accounts. So since it was a very first job for me, and that is how I was able to interact with multiple departments and understand what these companies all about, how they are processed, starting from the project inquiry which gets generated from marketing or sales department until how it is getting executed and sent it to the end consumer.
So the entire workflow.
Yes, I was able to see, since I was in marketing, my job was to talk to people, right? I was roaming around department to department, asking things. I was collecting information and making freelance gig work. Asian Paints. So it was a BTL campaign where that agency got that contract and they outsourced it to, they were looking for a freelancer basically who can provide this manpower. So one fun part was I got that deal also on the same day of the joining for the first company, and I was not sure because I committed them also that I would take up that work and do. And I have joined this company also as a full-time employee. So somehow I was not able to tell no to them, and I was not able. I thought this is a full-time job. I can't risk for some freelancing work.
This you're talking about the first job.
Yeah, first job. So I somehow took that project, but I had few of my engineering friends who were jobless, so they were finding jobs. So they were actually planning to go to this training institute like J Spider and Q Spider to get trained. So I told, okay, anyway, by the time you join and get trained and get placed, you can help me with this activation where I will pay you whatever the thing is. So that is how it started, and I took up that project, and I didn't understand how this BTL. That was the first time, right? So I took the brief from that lady from that agency, and she was not sure how that thing was, and all this. It was the first work for us also, and I don't think so. It's the first work for them. I don't know. Maybe they were giving a lot of briefs. I was not able to understand. I just told no. I was nodding it for whatever she was telling, and that is how we started. And somehow I did that campaign for first 2 months by managing both the work as well as this first gig freelance work. So that is how it started from 2015 August. Until 2016 mid, I think June, July. I think 10 months I worked there. Since I was getting a lot of inquiries for freelancing during that time. And also my job was from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. There were a lot of other part-time jobs from 6 p.m. to 12 p.m.
So which the projects you're doing?
Yes, as a gig. So there I used to work as a promoter. I used to work as a supervisor. I got to know, because since I was getting paid around 9,000 rupees a month, hardly per day, it is around 250 rupees a day. So whereas this gig job was paying me 1,000 rupees a day for 4 hours.
So if that was like hourly basis.
It was day basis basically. For a day, it was 4 hours of job, 1,000 rupees. So even if I work for 8 days in 8 weekends, I will easily earn 8,000, which is equivalent to my monthly salary. I thought, okay, fine, there is something in this line of business. So, and these brands started asking me that they needed more additional manpower. So now I thought, okay, if I keep some 100 or 200 rupees as a margin for this coordination and reporting. So then I thought, okay, I took that 10 members ka contract work from that team. So it was like, okay, 10 people, other 2,000 rupees of commission per day. If 10 people works, right? So that is how it became I thought, okay, there is something good money in this thing. Okay, and also I enjoyed coordinating these promoters, training them and all these things. And also in this first job, which I told, I worked as a part-timer, not the full-time job. There my job was to talk to customer. So most of the customers are not localites, they were North Indians. So I was not, I was more comfortable with talking with Kannada, but English and Hindi they know. So then I was supposed to talk in English or Hindi. Since I was bad with Hindi, I started communicating with them with English. So that is how I learned my communication skills, directly talking to the customers and also doing sales of those specific products. So that is how it is.
So I think that first job taught you so many things. One, you said that you were an introvert.
Correct.
So it led you to remove that introvert.
I was able to discover myself.
And again, good communication skills. And also, since you just learned the entire workflow, so it helped you execute that gig projects also extremely smoothly, I think. And also, would you like to tell the audience what is BTL marketing for somebody who doesn't know about this?
So BTL thing is basically it's a below the line marketing. So where the brands plan certain marketing activities to reach the customer directly on a face-to-face level. It is there is also ATL and TTL, which is like above the line, which is like newspaper ads, radio ads, and a mass advertisement. Whereas BTL comes off more like door-to-door activity, flyer distribution, sampling activity at malls, or
so I think like where you're moving on the road and there are some people asking us about
it's hotspot activity or apartment activity, putting up a stalls where the promoters would wear the brand T-shirt and they go talk to the customer. Either if it's a new product, they will give a sample and take the customer's feedback. For any of the brand to get launched, the initial customers matter, and they are the main people who give feedback. So to acquire those initial customer, to understand how whether the product is working, product or the service, whether it's application. We work with lot of app companies, right? All the major 10 app brands we have worked. So these initial days matter. So where the promoters will go talk to the customer, they will understand the gap in their product or the service. So BTL is one mode where they will be able to interact with the customer directly. So that is how.
That is BTL. Yeah. So Matt Creations is like its expertise in BTL or
core expertise is into BTL. We do 360-degree marketing. So now we are into ATL and digital as well. So now, recent years we have started our ATL and digital
marketing.
Or else it was more of 8 years. The first 8 years from 20. The company was registered in 2017. But earlier, since I was also working on as a freelancer for around 2 years, from 2015 after my engineering until 2017 July. So 2017 July, I thought of officially registering a private limited. Earlier, it was a proprietorship form where I used to do this billings and all. Now it became a private limited in 2017.
Great. Yeah. Great. So while we're having this conversation, I have a question in my mind. May I ask, what was your age back in 2017?
2015, I think, after even I was engineering.
No, like when you
23, I was, I think 23, I think.
Okay, so
23, 24, I think.
Most of the entrepreneurs I've talked to, they resist, like they've told me, like while they were making this decision on starting their own organization, they hesitate or they resist because they have a lot of responsibilities at that age. You know, like let's say if you were somewhere around 27, 28, you would be getting married, you'll be having that responsibility. So what was the reaction of your family? Were they very supportive of it or?
No, actually, yeah. From the day I passed out of engineering and I was doing this first job, first of all, they didn't like, since it was a low paying salary. And since my father runs a business, he was into business line. And he was always telling that rather than going for a job, you take care of my business itself. But the thing is, it was into more of manufacturing field. So he didn't want to completely
get indulged in that.
Yes. Rather than he was telling me that, okay, get on a job and do something. But he doesn't also wanted me to get on a job which is non-IT, where it's an underpaying job, and it was more of a field work, right? It is marketing is all about, as even many people have that misconception that marketing and sales is going to door to door and selling stuff.
You'll also face a lot of rejections because whenever you're doing marketing, the biggest fear usually people have is that you will have to go and speak to people and then
what if they say no?
And what if they say no? Exactly.
I think because of that thing itself, right? At initial stage, I was able to handle those rejections very well. So now I'm like very strong. Even
with that.
It's like I will not go and talk to any client that thinking that okay, we'll give business. It is like more of like going and talking and interacting and understanding that person. It won't be a sale. I will not go to any client meeting thinking that okay, let me just close this deal. So the objective is to go and talk to that people and person and understand that person. So something of that sort. So yes, my family didn't like my first job as well as the whatever I was doing after job, which is a part-time job. Since I used to work with a lot of liquor brands, so even though I don't smoke and drink, so many of the liquor brands used to do a lot of activations across Bangalore clubs, pubs, and retail outlets. So I used to work there itself. So my parents didn't like that. First of all, to go out and do all this gig work, because morning if I leave home at 9, I used to reach home at 1 a.m. So it was like first 2 years were very tough. Since I was not having any of the habit of spending this money, I was saving all this money and reinvesting in the business. It was like bootstrapped. So I didn't take any money from my family members or relatives or anyone. So it was all like whatever the salary I used to get, that 7,000 rupees take home, plus whatever the salary I used to get as a freelancer, promoter, supervisor, as a freelance agent, whatever. It was all getting rotated slow by slow. And that is how I was also able to take up new projects. So there was a time where in 2016, I used to get around 10 brands. So I was not able to handle that pressure and the job, which was 9 to 6, because I need to give time to that brand as well. So one bad thing is I was not able to close one deal also in my first company, because all these machineries or the panels which we need to market to big brands like Shobha, Brigade, Mantri, Salar, Korea. So I will tell you about what my first company was doing. So they were into panel manufacturing. So all these generator panel, lift panels.
EV panels.
Yes. Basically for this, even for BMRCL and all, metro, whatever the underground metro stations, the panel and all, it was supplied from my company itself. So we work with vendors such as Mitsubishi, L&T, Schneider Electric, these brands. Our clients were more like these in real estate, the major brands like Mantri, Brigade, Prestige, Salar, Korea, Satwa, Purvankara, all these brands. And also when it comes to industries like JSW, Jindal, Tata Steel, These were the brands which they, and BMRCL Metro, these were the brands which these people were supplying. So they were also working with some government projects as well as non-government as well private requirement they used to take it. So to close this deal, it is not like how you sell your chips or what I call soft drink, right? It is the product itself is 10 lakh to 10 crore worth of annual contract. And it will take a lot of follow-up. It is not only on 1 month, 2 months. It takes years of follow-up with their procurement team or purchase department of those clients, where we should go talk to them, present our portfolio. Then first round of like negotiation, second round, third round. It used to take a lot of time to get things closed. So I was not able to close a deal during my tenure. But yes, I visited a lot. That is a job where I saw the exact Bangalore. So I've not traveled, even I am in Bangalore yet. I did not see MG Road. I did not see how Whitefield, Electronic City, HSR. So this brand, this first company taught me the entire Bangalore geography. So I was able to understand, okay, these are the areas where more business is coming. So something of that sort.
But I think that was also an experience which was required, because being your first job, and okay, you didn't close any deal, but whatever you learned from there, it was the base which helped you reach. So Deepak, you're in a space where most people chase digital marketing.
Okay.
But you're built strongly around the on ground in BTL marketing, right? So what did you see early that others missed? Because we have seen most of the advertising agencies who are currently in the digital marketing domain or that expertise, but you started with BTL marketing. So can you explain that?
So one reason would be like since digital have more competition, right? Also, so the margins were very thin and lot of competition. With respect to BTL, the competition was less because there was more of there was a lot of work needs to be put into execute those BTL campaigns. It is not so simple. Even bigger brands outsource this BTL to smaller agencies. And I saw that BTL is an industry where a lot of work needs to be done in terms of quality of executions. Or like if you ask me in BTL, why most of the brands who work with us, why us means we work with a lot of brands on a CAC based model, which is like each of these brands have a cost when they acquire new users, right?
Yeah.
So we work on a target level as well. So because of that, the business is also huge, and most of the brands also want to give us work because we will. It's not only that we charge some service fee on whatever the services which we offer. We also help the brand plan and strategize their BTL plan. We more like act as a partners to them, not like as a vendor or something who is come here to take their money. Nothing of that sort. We help them where to put their money and what are the right medium in BTL where they will get that ROI, whatever they invest, they will get it back. So we help these brands with that. Though that is why I see going forward also, see BTL has its own strength, right? So at early stages, whenever you're launching a brand, so you will be able to acquire those early users and get their feedback. So BTL plays a major role, not digital. Digital, it's it can cover mass, but having said that, you don't know who is that person who is liking or commenting or reading those things. So nowadays a lot of AI softwares have come which can be what do you call it? The data are not proper with digital as well. But with BTL it can't be done like that because there will be a brand representative, there will be talking limited number of customer, and the customer experience is quite different compared to digital is what I feel.
Okay, so you felt that there's less competition in comparison to digital. In BTL there's less competition, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, would you like to tell everybody that how many customers do you have right now?
Clients.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, how many clients?
So we are currently working with more than 40 brands currently this month.
Okay.
So if you ask how many brands we have already worked, it is more than 500 plus brands we have worked in this past 10 years. Started my first very big client was Uber. So I think all of us use on a daily basis Uber, right? So we have worked with Uber, Ola, Rapido at initial stages.
Okay.
So that was my very big contract as well. It was like I used to do work with lot of smaller agencies from 2015 till 2017. So that month I started this private limited organization, I got this very big contract, I think 2-3 months before through Uber.
Okay.
So it was a customer acquisition campaign where they were looking at a marketing partner for Bangalore who can help in acquiring new users and also helping existing users book the rides. So at that time, I think Uber had tied up with BMRCL Metro. So they bought around 8 metro stations permission to put up their kiosk. I think they paid somewhere around 1 CR or 1.5 CR by the permission cost for those
The
metro stations, and they bought that place. And my job was to provide the manpower for that place to acquire new users and help existing users if they are facing any issues in their application. So that was a first big project. So I was able to successfully do that project. And also from 2017 till COVID, we were working with Uber very closely. So we launched Uber Auto in Bangalore. We were the first agency. Uber launched Auto in Bangalore very first time in India. So we were the agency who helped them launch that Uber Auto during that time. And we did a lot of BTL campaign with them to acquire that initial drivers as well as users for them. Also, I was a gold partner for Uber in terms of onboarding auto drivers as well. And one more is cab as well. So these are the 2, 3. And apart from that, with customer side also, we were helping demand and supply side. Both we were helping Uber.
So both the requirements.
Yes.
So would you also like to tell like workflow? So whenever a new client comes for BTL marketing, let's say, so what is like, how does it work? So they give you a requirement, like as right now you said that Uber wanted to launch Uber Auto here in Bangalore. So they tell you that what do they want exactly, and then BTL, so you send your manpower there to do that job. So can you just explain the workflow also once?
Okay, got it. There are a few brands or clients with which we work. They have a clear cut what they wanted to do with BTL. So there are brands and clients who don't have an idea, but they have a certain budget which they can spend. So for those second set of clients, we help them in planning and strategy.
So that is the consulting hat.
Consulting as well. Yes.
What
the first set of clients where they have already a requirement, these I wanted to do these things, we will do. And there are also a set of brands which we offer. These are the services which they select which services they wanted to do, and they keep limited budget and we do. So all these 3 kind of brands, we help them. The very first thing is, rather than we doing sale, we understand what is the client requirement. Now, as these many years we have spent in this industry, we are not like a typical BTL agency where we only do execution. We actually first do consulting, like how many users you want to acquire, which are the geography they are targeting, what budget they have per customer. So we go in detail and ask these questions. So how much are you ready to spend to acquire that first customer or few customers? So then we help them in planning the entire monthly and quarterly and yearly plans we give. So we are working with all the major 5 quick commerce brands: Flipkart Minutes, Zepto, Blinkit, Swiggy, Instamart. You name a brand which is of quick commerce, we have worked with them. So we aggressively do this RW activations. When I tell RW, it's a society or apartment activations. So we work with all these 5 quick commerce brands pan India. So I think recently last year 2025 we did with Big Basket. We have worked for more than 40 cities. They launched their 200 dark stores. So we are the main agency for them to help them in scaling up the BTL activations. So we work with them, and even with Zepto, it was in 2021 I think. So that was the first quick commerce brand which I started working. Prior to that, we were working with all the startups like Ola, Uber, Rapido, Dunzo, and smaller agencies I used to take up work. So from 2021, we became a pan-India agency working with Zepto. So since they saw our work in Bangalore, they told us, Deepak, you are doing very good in Bangalore. Why can't you start in other cities, other metro cities? They told that we are facing challenge in Kolkata. So I was not knowing where does Kolkata comes in India map. So we were like, okay, fine. One night I booked a flight and I went to Kolkata. I met few partners. I told them, this is what we are doing in Bangalore. You need to give manpower support. Whatever the operations and reporting help you need, I will give you. That is how it started. So from there, they gave Delhi. Then we started Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, and Chennai. That is how we became all the metro cities we started in the phase 1. And then next in phase 2, a lot of brands started asking that we wanted to do in tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities such as Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Surat, Bhubaneswar. I think you name a place, we have done it most of the places we are doing.
So, great. So Math Creations offices here in Bangalore only?
Yeah, we have our HO here. We have our warehouses in Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, and across all the metro cities we have.
So whenever like any client wants the manpower, you give it from there.
So usually in Bangalore, we have a big team. We have a team of around 70 people. In other cities, we have only one or two people who can manage those cities because the requirements are not that much as in Bangalore. Since we take up more works in Bangalore, only in a pan-India brands which we work, we do it for pan-India. So that is how we do.
Okay. So I think all the apps you're using right now, Zepto, Flipkart, Minutes.
Yes,
we are all because of you. You have promoted them.
Yeah.
Great. Can you also tell us a very early hustle or moment that made you feel, okay, this might actually work?
In the sense, I didn't get that point, questions.
Actually, this might actually work. We have already talked about. Okay, we're getting some gig projects. So can you tell us, on the flip side, was there a phase while you were doing this that things were really very uncertain or very difficult for you, or you were facing some challenge and which you had to push through and come far?
Yeah, this was during COVID time, actually, because since I told we were working with Uber, that was a major client. But after COVID, a lot of people, lockdown was there, no one was traveling. So that is where no new auto drivers or cab drivers were getting onboarded. And a lot of our payment got stuck with Uber. So that was a phase where we changed entirely from BTL. We started doing HR consulting for Big Basket and Flipkart and Amazon as a back support executives, like what do you call telecallers and chat support people. So a lot of IT people also lost job at during that phase of time. So we shifted our vertical with sourcing. That means helping brands to get people for their requirement for a gig workers. Basically, it's for blue collar jobs such as delivery partners, telecallers, chat support, these kind of things we started. So there were few people who came out of Uber and started few brands. So for them, we were working and helping them in getting leads. So that is how at that time I had a team of around 35 people. So I was clueless on what to do with having 35 people. Somehow that 6 months of phase, even my employees also supported, and they also took some salary cuts at those 3-4 months. It was very crucial. So slow and gradually, once the COVID lockdown stopped, our industry started pick up and we were able to get many brands. That is where 2021, I think Zepto thing started, and they got initial round of funding, and they were aggressively looking for a BTL partner. So we were the last agency to get onboarded with them for BTL, and we for the last 3 years until 2020, from 2021 till 2025. So we were the main agency for them. So before to us, there were a lot of agencies, because of the work and quality of execution we were doing. So they made us as a pan-India vendor as well.
Excellent. So I think COVID was a very bad phase.
Yes, for all of the
for the entire population. But yeah, I think because of that, because people became very comfortable sitting at home. So because of that, these Zepto, everything in 10 minutes, were delivering in 10 minutes. They came up. So because of that, your business grew. Right.
And also we work with these major brands such as ITC, Britannia, Tata Consumers. We are also helping those brands as well for their sampling activations.
Sampling activations as well?
In mall, if they are launching any new products, if they want to do wet sampling or a dry sampling of their cookies or biscuits or tea or whatever the products they have. So we help them as well in facilitating with manpower as well as the avenues, wherever, whether it's in a mall, whether it's in a hotspot, whether it's in a corporate gym or apartment, we help these brands as well.
Okay. So like you had that, you have that partnership with these malls. So if you want to set that place up for...
We will take permissions, we will source the promoters, we will train them. We will also print those collaterals. If any stall needs to be put up there with specific design, we'll print that and we'll execute. We take care of end-to-end. Only the client need to tell, this is the spot where I wanted to do this activity.
Rest
everything is taken care of.
And give you the products which you need to do the sample activity. So a lot of young people who want to start their entrepreneurship journey might be looking at your podcast and they would want to seek one advice. So can you tell, like most of the young entrepreneurs, everybody, it's not just about entrepreneurship, whether you're doing a job or whether you're starting a big business, that time also. So people tend to make mistakes, right? So can you tell us about a mistake you made early on the young founders should avoid? Like, can you tell everybody?
So basically, when you are starting young, right? So the mistake which I would have avoided if someone would have guided is having things properly on papers. Like it was initially, since it's a freelance, so I have lost many money receivables from the agencies where without any proper contracts or mail confirmation, I used to work on their verbal communication. So that is one thing. And one more is at initial stage, any young founder or young entrepreneur who is starting this journey, right? So they should not chase money. So money should follow basically. So advice. Okay, one advice which I would give is never follow money, but they should be able to learn the experience through working with different brands or whatever the initial work. And also for people who are joining jobs, right? So they should not seek that high-paying job or a bigger companies. They should start their career in a smaller companies and slow and gradually learn. Because when I also joined my first company, I didn't know that I was. It took some time to realize, okay, I am good at marketing, right? So even though I thought from beginning that okay, I'm introvert, marketing will not suit me, but once after me joining that company, it was a big eye opener for me that now see I am able to I'm more of an extrovert, and I love talking to people, I love meeting people. So things have changed. So the very first job or when you're starting your career, so look for companies which are like startup. There you will be able to see different departments, you will be able to work on different projects, and also you can have that liberty to do mistakes and then learn from those mistakes. Whereas in bigger companies, that is not the scenario. When you are put into specific department, you will be only taught specific process. So as you know, a lot of AI things are happening currently. So there are chances that if you are adapted to one system and you can't come out and do anything different. So
exactly,
I tell people at initial age, at a very young age, early 20s, so to just explore things and then come to a conclusion what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, so once you build that experience and you have upskilled yourself, I think you have the opportunity to ask for what money you want, but in the initial stage, you should upskill yourself first. So the focus should be on upskilling
Exactly.
yourself, right? And also a lot of people start businesses but struggle with consistency. So what helped you stay in the game for nearly a decade? So as you were just also telling, you registered this company back in 2017. So it's almost about 9 years that you've stayed in the game. So most of the entrepreneurs I've talked to, they say that yes, the people who give up in the initial 2 to 3 years, then they cannot stay up pause. So how do you, or what advice will you give to people to stay in this game for a long time?
If you are if you want to start up something of your own, if you're a founder, then obviously you need to hustle. It is a 16-hour of work thing which you should have. There are no weekends, there are no holidays. So something of that sort of mindset was there until I reached into a certain level and make my company's cash flow very stable. So if you are an employee, I know you won't be having that mindset. Of most of the people won't be having that mindset. But things are now changing. Even a lot of, I should actually thank my team who are being very supportive from the beginning till now. I think we have currently more than 70 plus people. Out of that, I think 20 people have got more than 5 years of work experience. They have been working with us for very long because of the work comfortness, work culture, work environment, and my friendliness with the people. So because of that, they are able to stay.
Great. So I think you have established that very comfortable work culture, and because of that, people like to work with you, and thus you have employees who have been there for a very long time. And how did you go about building your first set of clients and trust? Because I think for any organization, when they are starting new, they are starting fresh. So there, because you do not have anything for the past which you can show or which you has as a proof that, okay, we have done this work, we have this good set of skills. So the first clients are very special.
Correct.
This is where you're establishing your trust in, and these are the ones who will help you have more clients going forward. So how did you gain that trust from initial clients?
So as I told initially when I started, it was more of a manpower driven activation which I used to do. And most of the brands used to struggle to having a quality manpower. And even though they had quality manpower and training them and screening them and sourcing them and deploying them was a challenge for these people. So I was able to tackle that problem. So since I was very active, all 16 hours, I used to talk to a lot of people, and I used to shortlist few potential candidates and source those candidates only to those specific brands. So the brands also started loving to work with me since they were getting a quality promoters. So that is how we were able to get stick on to that brand. And any brand comes up with any kind of BTL requirement, I never used to say no to anyone. So I used to take up the requirement, and reversely I used to work on how to figure out. I used to do that a lot. Even now, a lot of new projects which we have got, it was all a first time activation. For example, either it should be a corporate shoot, or a digital work, which we have not started, but we take up those works and then brainstorm internally and then execute. So most of the campaigns which we have done is like that only. So since we are in the industry for very long and we have worked with 500 brands, which I told, and if you in that out of 500, I think more than 50% are smaller brand itself. So I personally, if you ask me, I love to work with smaller brands because there are a lot of things would be there for us to learn. With a bigger brand, is a brief. They would be having a 3 to 4 pages of brief where we just need to execute, and cost is the main factor with big brands. And scale is the one thing. With scale, the cost comes down. So with big brands, that is a scale game. With the smaller brands, yes, you need to give that initial time and effort to those small founders and understand what is their requirement, because these brands would have not got funded also. So we might have to initially consult them, help them, handhold them, and tell them what to do, what not to do, rather than just telling them, okay, you do this activity, you do that activity.
So that's more of spoon feeding.
Yes. So I love consulting these brands. What are the brands which I am consulting? I love. I want them to be successful. So more like, no, I don't treat them like client, or they don't treat me like a vendor. So it's more like I treat them more like my business itself. So that is the approach which I have with smaller brands as well as bigger brands as well.
So that automatically, I think, gives you the empathy.
Yes.
Consult them more.
Exactly.
And not think of in monetary terms.
Yes. If I was that startup founder, will I do it? That is the question which I ask. If I am that startup founder, will I spend that kind of money to acquire these many users? That is what. Even I tell my team also the same thing. Even though a lot of clients have not given us targets of certain number of customer acquisition, I put pressure on my operations team to give a quality work to these brands, because they will be relying on us. When someone is giving the work, it's like someone is telling them to acquire new users for them. It's like their baby, they are handing over to us to take care. So we should take care of their brand, because on the field itself, whether it's a good impression or a bad impression, it comes from the customers, first few customers. So first few customers are very much important.
Very important.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So how you handle interns in your internal organization, I think this is how you handle the small founders as well.
Yes.
So handling. And also I have a follow-up question on the same. So what is there any success metric for manpower which you like give for any kind of activity or campaign you're running for BTL marketing?
Success metric in this.
Success metric, like how do you gauge the performance of these manpower which you're supplying? So suppose the people are going on field and they're doing some work. So how do you gauge that, okay, this person is doing their job very well? Any success metric? Like,
so, yeah, it's all.
They are able to
yes, exactly. Like so these manpower teams are being tracked from my operations team in terms of, one is quality of their grooming standards. Second thing is timings. So whether they're on time or not. And one more thing is during the activations, how many customers are they approaching? So we have a live tracker which we give to all these clients, where how many customers are they approaching, how many downloads are happening. Since most of the brands measure these campaigns on the number of new users or the downloads or the first orders. So that report is being shared with the client as well on an hourly basis. So from the on-field, the supervisors are going to share that data to the back office people. The back office people are going to give that, enter those data to a dashboard. So from the dashboard, the client will have easy access that, okay, on hourly basis, how my activations are going on. This we have done it with Big Basket as well, with Zepto, on all the major brands. We make this dashboard on an hourly basis, what is happening on field. Because a lot of these brand managers doesn't go to the field and check what is happening in the market, right? So we help them give that kind of a transparency.
Okay, so that is basically data analysis you're doing, because at the end it's all data.
Correct.
Right. And like obviously, as you have mentioned that you currently have 70 people working for you. So whenever you are hiring people, so what is what are the qualities you look for while hiring people for your team? And especially in a field that relies heavily on execution on the ground, because I think maximum people you will have, the manpower will be working on the field, right?
Okay, so, internal staff, I am talking about the 70 people, they are all internal staff.
Okay.
But if you consider the number of people who are working at us, there are more than 100 people, the promoters or the supervisor, that is one thing. And the quality, coming to what quality we look at internal hiring or the promoters, one is communication skills, which as I told, during my engineering time, I thought that is not the much needed skill. But now, since the communication is done through English, so we will be looking at people who have a good verbal communication first. And second thing is obviously to put in that extra amount of time. It is not a 9 to 6 of work, whether if you are doing in sales or marketing. So they might have to little bit push themselves to put in that additional 1 or 2 hours initial days. Once after they learn the work, it's fine. We are okay with having the flexible working hours or something like that.
So more flexibility, and they have
Yes.
to be
At initial, yes, until they gain a certain experience, they should actually put in that additional time. So that is one thing which we'll be looking. If someone wants to join us, yes, one is communication skill and one is that additional. They should be ready to hustle and work.
Yeah,
so that
dedication,
is one.
they should have that. Okay. So today, if we see that entrepreneurship is very much glamorized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's one reality about being a founder that people don't talk about enough? Like, like people sugarcoat, or they just tell about their, because even if you go on LinkedIn or anywhere, any kind of social media platforms, all the entrepreneurs will be posting about their achievements, success, but not about the challenges they have actually faced behind that. Because we all know, even if you're doing a job, small job, big job, there also we face a lot of difficulties, right? So being an entrepreneur, handling a team under you, and you have to force them to do the work, right? So how do you handle all of that? So
So the challenges as a founder is, first thing is, since we are a small startup, which is self-funded, funding is a major thing. And one more thing is, you don't get a lot of talented folks that initially who joins and believes and joins, right? It takes a lot of time for them to understand the culture and the work there. So that is, and one more thing is, in the market, since we are a smaller agency, and cash flow is everything. So that is like a lifeline of the entire business. So a lot of brands doesn't pay on time, smaller brands, even bigger brands as well. So that is another challenge. So coming to another challenge, such as a lot of competition from the agencies as well. So I have in the crucial times, I have lost many of my key performer employees to my competitor for a bare maybe 10%, 15% of increase in salary. They've just moved out, and afterwards they realizing, okay, these are not the right agencies to work with. They have came back to us. So that was also happened. But anyways, the time lost, opportunity cost, right? So in the right time they would have left, and that is one more challenge. And since this gig economy is very big, right? So there is a lot of demand also, which since it's a more of a manpower driven thing, we won't be able to fulfill the demand immediately also, since it's a manpower based.
Right. Yeah. So any one other challenge you would like to talk about? How have you tackled it?
So cash flow is one thing. We have been very good in the market in terms of clearing our vendor payments or the promoter payments. Since a lot of the money which we have earned is also reinvested in the company itself for a very long time. So since we have a good cash flow, that is how we are able to manage all the vendor partners as well. Since we procure a lot of services from the printers or the vendors, so that is how I'm able to tackle with a good cash flow, managing the cash properly. That is what I meant. Yeah.
So Deepak, how do you personally handle pressure? Because again, you have a lot to do. You have a lot to take care of clients and then the people who are working for you, your employees. And of course, you have your family also. So how do you handle pressure? So whether it is from client side or your team side, or obviously you have to set up the growth, the next target for the next financial year, a lot of things you have to achieve. So how do you handle all of that stuff?
So to handle, I started going for gym actually. So whatever the stress I have, I will take it out by working out more. So that is how I take my stress off now. Yeah, that is how.
That's all.
Yeah.
So good to meet you. All right. One piece of advice also for the people who are starting in the marketing, if they want to start something of their own in the marketing domain or services domain. So what would you suggest them? Like, where should they start from?
So they should start working with smaller startup brands. Preferably, I would tell any FMCG brands they can start, where they can go and act as a sales person who can go directly talk to the customer and collect those feedback and give it to the founders. So as an intern, if you want to start somewhere with any of the brands, so that is where I would start. Even I didn't mention, I started my MBA in 2017 mid. In 2019, I passed out. So I did my internship in Coca-Cola. So where I was on a day-to-day basis, I was handling marketing and sales of, basically it's a marketing activity where I used to visit all these bakeries, college canteens, where our brand was there, to talk to those retailers, understand what are their pain areas, challenges, competitor threats. So that is how I also did my internship in I think 2 months I did. It was all 2 months, 60 days I was on field. So that is how I did my first internship, and I gained a lot of knowledge by talking to these retailers, these smaller entrepreneurs who have their own bakeries or canteen.
Right.
So yeah, that is what I suggest for the new people who wants to join, start their journey in marketing. So I would prefer those people to work with smaller startups and work with customer-centric approaches there, where they are directly interacting with the customers. So that is where they will be able to learn a lot of things.
Yeah. So direct interaction with the customers will help them gain those skills.
Yeah. First is self-confidence, communication skills. When I started, I didn't have a lot of things, but once after talking to the customer, so I learned all of those things.
Okay. So, like if you're talking about IT domain, we have a lot of theoretical knowledge as in like some vocabulary, technical vocabulary. So do you think there's also some technical vocabulary, there's something in marketing which people should have some knowledge of before going on sale?
Nothing as of such. I think only thing is you should be mentally prepared to handle customer queries and figure out on spot what to answer to those people. Yes, understanding a brand brief before going to these campaigns is very much important, or else customer would get pissed off. That is one thing which I've observed.
Yeah, and I think also have the courage to face rejections in the initial times, because I don't think like most of the people would be able to make it at the first, they'll be able to break the first deal, right?
Yes, I would suggest a lot of people who are just who are studying or who wanted to try out this part-time, full-time jobs. I think this is the right time for them if they are also going for internships. So they should start with sales and marketing,
right?
Because that is where they will be able to learn a lot of things. Whether even though they wanted to continue their career in IT or tech, communication plays a very major role, is what I have felt. So I would suggest all the people to get into this sales and marketing role at their initial stage during their college or something, as maybe a month or a 2 month under some startup, so that they will get a lot of experience on how to handle rejections, how to improve their communication skills. Yeah,
that will also uplift them.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Them for what they're going
also
to have.
We as an agency, every month we onboard around 20 to 25 interns from various institutes across pan India. I think this year we have got around 15 people from different IIMs. I think we have got in Visakhapatnam, I am Nagpur, I am Udaipur. These are the IIMs. I am both Gaya. So a lot of people from IIMs have also joined us. It is not only we only take people from IIM. We also take any other college who wants to do us as an intern. So we also onboard them as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah, since I didn't get that opportunity of doing internships at my early engineering days, so it is one way of giving back to the society, which I feel it is.
Yeah, so as a founder, you're giving a lot back to the society and hiring people and giving them jobs. It's one of the good things. So with this, we have come to the end of the first section, which was about gaining insights, and it was really very valuable. All the insights you've given, I think none of them were sugar-coated. All were real, which is the real advice people are really looking for. Now we'll start with a very small rapid fire round where I'll be asking you a question and you have to answer instantly, like without taking much break.
Yeah.
So shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay. So one word that describes entrepreneurship.
Hustle.
Okay. Offline marketing or digital marketing?
Offline, always.
BTL.
Yeah.
Okay. One habit that changed your journey.
Being proactive.
Okay. Biggest myth about startups.
You can make money at initial stage. No, it's a long run game. It's not a short term.
Okay. One skill every founder must have.
Communication.
A founder or a leader you admire.
Ratan Tata.
If not a founder, what would you rather be? In parallel world.
Maybe I would be working in some IT job. I don't know.
Great.
Come again, that question.
If you were not a founder, what would you rather be?
I would be pilot. That is what my dream job was.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Mine also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now I would want you to walk us through the entire, like all the years.
Okay.
What all you've done every year, so that we get to know. And also, addition to that, what was the initial investment you made when you were starting Mac Creations, and what is the revenue? Any rough figure, if you're comfortable sharing that. So.
Got it. So from 2015, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So 2015 was a year where I passed out of engineering and I entered this freelancing. I started with zero. So since I started as a promoter, So it is zero. It's not funded from any of family, friends, or it was a zero investment basically to start this thing. So at 2015, we did somewhere around, I don't know, 35 lakhs of business in the last 6 months. 2015 mid I started. 2016, we did around somewhere around 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs of business. So that is roughly under a crore. So 2017 is official, where I told Uber was my very big client, and I was working with a lot of smaller agencies. I think I had worked with more than 50 plus agencies locally, which are based out of Bangalore, and most of their offices were in Indiranagar, Kormangla, HSR. So I think in 2017, I think we did somewhere around 2 CR of business. So 2018, I think we have done somewhere around 3.5 crores of business, where we started working with Ola, Rapido, these brands as well. So in 2019, we started doing payrolling work for brands like Google Pay. That was a new set of business for us, where we started entire HR recruitment for blue collar itself. So back in then, I started with, I think, hardly 3-4 employees were there. I think 2019 is a year where we scaled our employee count to, I think, more than 25 plus. So since we onboarded a lot of telecallers, a lot of HR executives who takes these source these candidates and all. So we were working with Google Pay for 4 cities: Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Pune. So that was a very big deal, where it added a lot of. It was basically payroll management and sourcing. So that was a task, even for Amazon Pay as well. I think that was the time where demonetization was happening, and everyone from cash were moving to this what do you call quick payments. Paytm was one thing at that time. I think Airtel also launched Airtel Pay. I think all the 3 brands we started working parallelly. So that is how it was. And then came 2020, the COVID in March. I think at that time we had around 35 people of staff. I think even that year also we worked with a lot of smaller, we took a lot of small works, small event management works and all. We were somewhere able to do 5 CR of business even in COVID as well. Yes, because end of the COVID, I think 2020 end, the business, once the lockdown opened, so we had a lot of business.
So I think, but that is a very big achievement to.
Yes, I think I still recall during COVID, none of my staffs were coming to office. I alone was coming to office during that time, and doing smaller works, which I could at that time, because most of my office staff were in their hometown. So none of them were able to come to office. So that was a time where I was having a second thought. Okay, should I shut down the company and look for a job? But yes, I didn't give up on those days. I thought, okay, COVID. Then 2021, we started working with Shadowfax, Swiggy, Zomato for their delivery partners onboarding. So we shifted our entire vertical from, it was a part of BTL itself. We were working more of a supply side, which is delivery partners. During COVID, none of these brands were spending on marketing, but the brands, the quick commerce brands like Big Basket and Swiggy, Zomato were needed a lot of delivery people to get their deliveries to their homes, right? For the people's homes. So that is where we got a lot of business from them in 2021. So yeah, 2021 end, I think Zepto was our big client, where quick commerce boom started. We started doing apartment activity, college activity, gym activations, mall activations, a lot of things. Working with Zepto, we learned a lot of other 360-degree marketing, how it works and all. So that was a big client in 2021. We did somewhere around 10 CR of business. 2022, we worked with Zepto itself, but we expanded to multiple cities like Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, and other cities. So even 2023 also we added.
Expanded pan-India?
Yeah, that is. Yes, exactly. Until 2022, we were only Bangalore based. So no one outside Bangalore knew us what we were doing. But 2022, it all changed. We even worked with Nisho for their B2B onboarding. It was a pan-India client for us. It was into B2B. And 2022, with all these 5 major quick commerce brand coming in, Blinkit, Swiggy, Instamart, Zepto and all. Yeah, Big Basket, we started. So 2023, we did somewhere around 15 CR of business. So 2024 was a big year for us, because we got our ITC brand onboarded to us. We worked with the Bingo division for their BTL activation. And also we got our AB InBev brand, which is into liquor industry. So we started doing a lot of activities for them as well. So in 2024, we did somewhere around 18 CR of business. So that was the highest. It was all growth every year. We were adding revenue to our thing, and also our teams has also slow and gradually started increasing. I think 2024 is a year where we were having a highest number of team strength. I think we had 100 plus team. So yeah, employee count. And 2025 we got Flipkart onboarded to us. So with Flipkart we started working in different verticals of Flipkart Minutes, Flipkart Kilos, Mintra. So we started working with these and also Big Basket, BB now, it got rebranded. So we started doing BTL campaigns for them as well, because they launched around 200 dark stores across pan India during 2025 March to June. So we helped them in acquiring their initial customers for them. So yeah, coming to 2020, closing 2025 financial year, we somewhere did around 25 CR of business. So this year we have 2026, 2027, we have kept a bigger target of around 50 CR. So we should see how it goes. Yeah.
But that growth was exponential.
Yes.
And so impressive. Many congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And I really hope you achieve the target you've set, and even more than that.
Yeah.
In fact. And also what was the employee count when you started this journey, and current count we know, I think it's 70.
70,
what
yes.
was the count you had?
So initially when I started, I had only 2 people. So to assist me, officially we opened an office in 2017 itself.
Okay.
So until then there was no office. The first 2 years was 2015, 2016 and 2017 was 2015, 2016. Both years were just freelancing. I didn't have any office. 2017 July, that is where we opened a small office in Malleshwaram. So I think every year we started adding new office. I think it was small office back then. So then 2018 we opened up 2 offices. Currently we have 3 offices in Bangalore itself. We have office in Indiranagar, Basesha Nagar, and this is the main office in Rajaji Nagar. Yeah.
Excellent. Great, Deepak. So now finally, if your younger self was watching this podcast today before starting out, what would you tell him in one line?
Okay, one line, younger self.
Even 2 lines. Like what would you tell? What would be the advice you would give to your younger version?
Be patient.
Okay.
Yeah. Have patience. That is what I would tell myself.
Great. All right. So with this, we come to an end of the podcast. And thanks a lot for sparing out the time. I know your schedule was really busy. And this is the first in-person podcast I'm having.
So for me also, it's the first time which I am doing this.
Yeah, so it makes you
I'm not that much of a camera guy or who is open to have this.
But you did so well.
Thank you.
And it makes you extra special guest.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And all the insights you've given for entrepreneurship and this domain especially. So I've explored this domain first time. It was very informative for me also, and especially for the audience who will be watching this. I am sure it will be very much valuable to them. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.